Imagine a world where your inner voice speaks louder than any outside noise. A world where your connection to something greater gives you strength no one can take away. This isn't just a dream, it's a reality you can create. The truth about trusting yourself and the divine has the power to transform your life completely. Why? Because when you truly believe in your own wisdom and the guidance of a higher power, you become unstoppable. Think about it. How many times have you doubted yourself because someone else told you that you were wrong? How often have you pushed aside your gut feelings just because others didn't agree? It's time to change that. This powerful truth about faith in yourself and the divine can set you free from the opinions and judgments of others. It can help you stay true to your spiritual path no matter what challenges come your way. Here's the thing. If you don't learn to trust your inner wisdom, you're leaving yourself open to being led astray by others. It's like having a compass but never using it, choosing instead to follow the directions of strangers who might not have your best interests at heart. This is where things get tricky. Trusting yourself and the divine isn't always easy. It requires being strong in your beliefs, even when it feels like the whole world is telling you that you're wrong. But what happens if you don't develop this trust? You might find yourself constantly second-guessing your decisions. You could end up following paths that don't feel right to you, just because someone else said you should. Worst of all, you might lose touch with that inner spark that makes you unique, your personal connection to the divine. The price of not trusting yourself is high. It can lead to a life of regret, always wondering, what if? What if you had followed your heart? What if you had listened to that quiet voice inside that was trying to guide you? What if you had trusted in the divine plan for your life instead of letting others dictate your path? This is why it's so important to build that unshakable faith in yourself and your spiritual beliefs. It's not just about feeling good. It's about living a life that's true to who you really are, deep down inside. Now, let's dive into what it really means to trust yourself and the divine. At its core, this concept is about recognizing that you have an inner wisdom that's worth listening to. It's about understanding that there's a higher power at work in your life, guiding you towards your true purpose. Self-trust means having confidence in your own thoughts, feelings, and decisions. It's about knowing that even if you make mistakes, you have the strength to learn from them and move forward. When you trust yourself, you're less likely to be swayed by the opinions of others or to doubt your own capabilities. Divine connection, on the other hand, is about recognizing that there's something bigger than yourself at play in the universe. This could be God, the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in. When you trust in this divine connection, you understand that there's a greater plan for your life, even if you can't always see it clearly. Together, self-trust and divine connection create a powerful foundation for living an authentic, purpose-driven life. They give you the courage to follow your own path, even when it's different from what others expect of you. They provide comfort in difficult times, reminding you that you're never truly alone. But how do you develop this kind of trust? It's not something that happens overnight. It takes practice, patience, and a willingness to look deep within yourself. That's why we're going to explore 5 key points that will help you build and strengthen your trust in yourself and the divine. First, we'll look at how to understand and recognize your inner voice. This is crucial because your inner voice is your direct line to your own wisdom and to divine guidance. Next, we'll explore the power of divine connection and how it can support you in making decisions and navigating life's challenges. We'll also talk about how to deal with people who doubt your beliefs or try to convince you that you're wrong. This is an important skill to develop because there will always be those who question your path. Then, we'll dive into ways to strengthen your spiritual practice. This is how you deepen your connection with yourself and the divine, building that unshakable trust over time. Finally, we'll discuss how to balance being open-minded with staying strong in your beliefs. This is about learning to listen to others without losing sight of your own truth. By exploring these 5 key areas, you'll gain the tools you need to trust yourself and the divine so deeply that no one can shake your faith. You'll learn how to tap into your inner wisdom, connect with the divine, and stay true to your spiritual path no matter what challenges you face. Remember, this journey is about more than just feeling good in the moment. It's about creating a life that's truly aligned with your deepest beliefs and values. It's about finding the courage to be who you really are, even when others don't understand. As we go through each of these points, try to keep an open mind. Some of these ideas might challenge what you've been taught or what you've always believed. That's okay. The goal here isn't to tell you what to think or believe. Instead, it's to help you tap into your own inner wisdom and strengthen your connection to the divine. You already have everything you need inside you. These tools and ideas are just here to help you uncover and trust in that inner strength and wisdom. They're here to remind you that you're connected to something greater than yourself, something that's always there to guide and support you. So, are you ready to begin this journey? Are you ready to discover just how powerful you can be when you truly trust yourself and your connection to the divine? Let's dive in and explore how you can build that unshakable faith that will carry you through any challenge life throws your way. Let's talk about your inner voice. You know, that quiet whisper inside that sometimes tells you things? That's your inner voice, and it's a lot smarter than you might think. It's like having a wise friend who's always with you, ready to give advice. But here's the thing, sometimes it's hard to hear this voice because life can be so noisy. So how do you start listening to your inner voice? It's simple, really. You just need to get quiet and pay attention. Try this. Find a peaceful spot, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Now ask yourself a question about something in your life. Don't try to force an answer. Just listen. That first thought that pops into your head, that's often your inner voice speaking. Here's a real-life example. Let's say you're thinking about taking a new job. On paper, it looks great. Good pay, nice office, impressive title. But something doesn't feel right. You can't put your finger on it, but there's this uneasy feeling in your gut. That's your inner voice trying to tell you something. Maybe it's noticed red flags you missed, or maybe it knows this job isn't right for your true path. Whatever the reason, it's worth listening to. Now, here's a simple exercise you can try to practice hearing your inner voice. Every morning when you wake up, before you check your phone or start your day, take a minute to sit quietly. Ask yourself, what do I need to know today? Then just listen. Don't judge whatever comes up. It might be something practical like remember to call mom or something more profound. The important thing is to make space for that inner wisdom to speak. Remember, Your inner voice is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So keep practicing, keep listening. Over time, you'll find it easier and easier to hear that quiet wisdom inside you. Now let's talk about something big, your connection to the divine. When we say divine, we're talking about whatever higher power you believe in. It might be God, the universe, nature, or just a sense that there's something bigger than us out there. Whatever it is for you, that connection is powerful stuff. Trusting in this divine connection means believing that there's a bigger plan at work in your life. It's about having faith that even when things seem tough or confusing, there's a reason for it all. This trust can be a real game changer when it comes to making decisions and facing challenges. Here's what it might look like in real life. Let's say you're facing a big decision and you're not sure what to do. When you trust in your divine connection, you might take a moment to pray or meditate about it. You're open to signs or gut feelings that guide you. Instead of stressing about making the perfect choice, you trust that you'll be led in the right direction. This divine trust doesn't mean you just sit back and do nothing, waiting for miracles. It's more like a partnership. You do your part, using your skills, making efforts, but you also stay open to guidance and help from something bigger than yourself. Building this trust takes time. It's about noticing the little things, moments of unexpected joy, problems that suddenly work out, or times when you feel a sense of peace for no reason. These can all be ways the divine is showing up in your life. Try this. At the end of each day, think of 3 things that happened that you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you saw a beautiful sunset or a stranger smiled at you. This practice helps you notice the good things in life, which can strengthen your trust in a benevolent higher power. Remember, your connection to the divine is personal. It's not about following rules or fitting into someone else's idea of spirituality. It's about finding what feels true and right for you. As you develop this trust, you'll find a source of strength and comfort that's always with you, no matter what's happening in the outside world. All right, let's face it. Not everyone is going to understand or support your spiritual beliefs. You might have friends, family, or co-workers who question your choices or try to convince you that you're wrong. Dealing with these doubters can be tough, but it's an important part of staying true to yourself. First things first, it's okay for people to have different beliefs. The world would be pretty boring if we all thought the same way, right? The problem comes when others try to force their views on you or make you feel bad about what you believe. So how do you handle it when someone challenges your faith? Here's a few tips. Stay calm. It's easy to get defensive when someone questions your beliefs, but try to keep your cool. Remember, your faith is strong enough to handle a few questions. Listen, but don't feel you have to defend yourself. Sometimes people just want to be heard. You can listen respectfully without having to justify your beliefs. Set boundaries. It's okay to say, I appreciate your concern, but this is what feels right to me. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your spiritual choices. Find support. Surround yourself with people who respect your beliefs, even if they don't share them. Having this support can make it easier to deal with doubters. Here's an example of how this might play out. Let's say you have a friend who's always trying to talk you out of your spiritual practices. They might say things like, "That stuff is all nonsense. You're wasting your time." Instead of getting upset, you could calmly say, "I understand you see it differently, but this is important to me. Can we agree to respect each other's views?" Remember, staying true to yourself doesn't mean you have to convince everyone else. It's about being confident in your own path, even when others don't get it. Your spiritual journey is yours alone. Trust in that inner wisdom we talked about earlier. It knows what's right for you. The most important thing is to not let doubters shake your faith. Use their questions as a chance to reflect on what you believe and why. Often these challenges can actually make your faith stronger. They push you to really think about your beliefs and connect more deeply with your inner truth. In the end, trusting yourself means having the courage to follow your own path, even when it's different from what others expect. It's about being true to your own heart and soul, no matter what anyone else thinks or says. Now let's talk about how to make your spiritual practice stronger. This is super important because it's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger your connection with yourself and the divine becomes. First off, don't worry if you don't have a fancy spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be complicated. The key is to do something regularly that helps you feel connected to yourself and something bigger than you. Start your day with intention. Before you jump out of bed, take a minute to set a positive intention for the day. It could be as simple as, today, I'll be kind to myself and others. Practice gratitude. Every night, think of 3 things you're thankful for. This helps you notice the good stuff in life, even on tough days. Meditate or pray. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and focus on your breath or a meaningful phrase. Connect with nature. Take a walk outside, feel the sun on your face, or tend to a plant. Nature has a way of reminding us of the bigger picture. Do something kind. Helping others can be a powerful spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be big. Even a small act of kindness counts. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. It's about showing up consistently and being open to growth. Some days you might feel super connected, and other days it might feel like you're just going through the motions. That's okay. What matters is that you keep at it. Here's an example of how this might look in real life. Let's say you decide to start a daily meditation practice. At first, it might feel awkward or your mind might wander a lot. But if you stick with it, even for just 5 minutes a day, you'll start to notice changes. You might feel calmer, more focused, or more in tune with your inner voice. The cool thing about strengthening your spiritual practice is that it builds that unshakable trust we've been talking about. The more you connect with yourself and the divine, the easier it becomes to trust your own wisdom and the guidance you receive. All right, let's tackle something tricky. How to be open to new ideas while still staying strong in what you believe. It's like walking a tightrope, but don't worry, we'll break it down. Being open-minded is great. It means you're willing to learn and grow. But it doesn't mean you have to accept everything you hear. The key is to listen to others with respect, but always check in with your own inner wisdom. Listen without judgment. When someone shares an idea that's different from yours, try to really hear them out. You might learn something new. Ask questions. If something doesn't sit right with you, it's okay to ask for more information. This shows you're engaging thoughtfully, not just dismissing ideas. Reflect before you react. Take time to think about new information. How does it fit with what you already believe? Does it feel true to you? Stay true to your core values. It's okay to change your mind about some things, but know what's non-negotiable for you. Here's an example. Let's say you meet someone with very different spiritual beliefs. Instead of arguing or dismissing them, you could say, "That's interesting. Can you tell me more about why you believe that?" This shows you're open to learning, but it doesn't mean you have to agree. Remember, being open-minded doesn't mean emptying your mind of all beliefs. It means being willing to consider new ideas while still honoring your own truth. Your spiritual journey is unique to you, and it's okay for it to evolve over time. Now let's get practical. How do you actually use all this stuff in your everyday life? It's one thing to talk about trusting yourself and the divine, but how does it work when you're dealing with work stress, relationship problems, or just trying to figure out what to have for dinner? The key is to start small. You don't have to make huge life changes all at once. Instead, try to bring a little bit of this trust into each day. Here are some ways to do that. When you're facing a decision, big or small, take a moment to check in with your inner voice. What feels right to you? Trust that feeling. If you're dealing with a difficult situation, remind yourself that there might be a bigger plan at work. Ask for guidance from the divine, however you understand it. When you're feeling overwhelmed, take a few deep breaths and remember that you're connected to something bigger than yourself. This can help you feel more grounded and calm. Here's a real-life example. Let's say you're having a conflict with a coworker. Instead of reacting right away, you might take a moment to center yourself. Listen to your inner wisdom about the best way to handle it. Trust that even if the conversation is uncomfortable, it's happening for a reason and can lead to growth. Or maybe you're trying to decide whether to move to a new city. Instead of just making pro and con lists, you could also tune into how you feel when you think about the move. Does it feel right in your gut? Do you sense any divine guidance pushing you one way or the other? The more you practice applying these principles, the more natural it becomes. You'll start to notice that you feel more confident in your decisions and more at peace with life's ups and downs. We've covered a lot of ground here, talking about trusting yourself in the divine. Remember, this isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about developing a deep, unshakable faith in your own wisdom and in the bigger picture of life. We talked about understanding your inner voice, connecting with the divine, dealing with people who doubt you, strengthening your spiritual practice, and balancing open-mindedness with strong beliefs. These are all tools to help you on your journey. The most important thing to remember is that this is your journey. No one else can walk it for you. Trust yourself. Trust the divine. And don't let anyone convince you to ignore that inner wisdom that's always guiding you. As you go forward, keep practicing these principles. Be patient with yourself. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep listening to that inner voice, and keep trusting in something bigger than yourself. You've got this. Your inner wisdom and your connection to the divine are powerful forces. Trust them, nurture them, and watch how they transform your life. Remember, you trust yourself and the divine too much to let anyone convince you otherwise. Stay true to your path and trust that it's leading you exactly where you need to go.